This is TWiT.
This episode of Tech Break is brought to you by ACI Learning. ACI Learning provides world-class service from beginning to end of your training journey and beyond. Fortify your expertise with access to self-paced IT training videos, interactive practice labs, and certification practice tests. Individuals use the code TWIT30 for 30% off a standard or premium individual IT Pro membership at go.acilearning.com/twit. Jeff, you've posted a few unpopular opinions about AI.
Yeah, nobody cared. Nobody paid attention, but I thought I'd try to get it here. So I wanted to mention it because it was inspired by my conversation last week with Jason on his upcoming AI show. So as we were talking through a bunch of stuff before Jason did a great demo of something, I come to wonder whether or not ChatGPT and company will give all of AI cooties. Now, anything that generative AI does and does stupidly or is misused or lies or hallucinates in the misnomer of the world is associated with AI. And I think it's going to come to the point where people just aren't going to trust AI because, well, it messes up all the time.
It's just more crappy AI.
I think you're getting a little bit of that, a lot of that right now, in my opinion.
We were talking about this yesterday at the editorial meeting, and was it you, Benito, or somebody, maybe Victor, said, I can immediately sense that this is AI written, and I just skim right over.
Skips right over it.
You've developed a radar for AI. What we were debating, though, was kind of interesting, and I actually have to amend my thoughts. So what I was saying is we're looking at a way, because our show notes are all over the place. Some shows are very good, some they're not. It depends on the hosts. And I don't do anything, so it's not me.
No comment.
So I just talk. I don't write. So we were looking at AI taking the transcripts of the show and generating useful show notes. And we had a sample, and I said, I could tell it's written by a machine. It has no point of view. It has no voice. It's just kind of generic. And I said, I think people are going to quickly start to recognize that kind of writing and tune it out, which is good for us because to the extent that we do stuff that humans create, we're going to stand out. And I think it's
because AI doesn't just whistle out of nowhere and start humming. We do that.
Well, I was wrong. So really it was an issue of prompt engineering. Anthony Nielsen, our AI wizard here, just basically added one line to the show notes. Try to include the hosts and guests' positions on the topic. And the show notes suddenly, I don't even know how this happened. They suddenly got emojis and they got position. This is from yesterday's MacBreak Weekly, and I thought this is better than anything we could write on this week's InfoPack MacBreak Weekly. Because really, the whole point of show notes, there's twofold. One is to get people to listen to the show. The other is when they've listened to the show and they want to find something, to be able to find something. So that's what the show notes are about. Our show notes are going to be written this way too, by the way, because this is awesome. On this week's InfoPack MacBreak Weekly, Leo and the guests dive into the latest Apple news and rumors, including whether you should disinfect your bacteria-ridden Apple Watch, iOS 16 and macOS updates, speculation around Apple acquiring Disney, the evolution of corporate hype presentations, and much more. So here's the bullet points. So at first it just said, should you wash your Apple Watch band? Then now the new one has an emoji of a bacterium and says, should you sanitize your bacteria-ridden Apple Watch? The hosts say yes to good hygiene, but question this, quote, news.
Isn't
that good?
That's good.
What would improve that further is that I love the prompt. One of the best prompts people who are doing this sort of thing can use is to specify that you want it in plain language. Because ChatGPT tries to be creative, and it's weird. Like bacteria-ridden Apple Watch, the word "ridden"
weird.
Feels like a ChatGPT kind of word. It's not a great
Here's
word
the
there.
prompt.
It's just kind of stops you in your tracks.
I think Anthony's become the prompt.
Yeah, he's expert at it now.
He says, this is the prompt we gave. And by the way, it's not ChatGPT. It's something called Claude, right?
Claude.
I don't know who Claude is.
Claude is better than ChatGPT at this sort of thing, for sure.
Oh, you know Claude.
Claude AI.
Oh, yeah, Claude is
the new version is really good.
The company.
Is it Anthropic?
Yeah, Anthropic.
Yes.
Here's the prompt. You are a producer for a tech-focused podcast network writing detailed, engaging, And he added click-worthy notes for this episode of MacBreak Weekly hosted by, and he gave the hosts' names, which helped because then it was able to say the names. Using the attached AI-generated transcript, write the show notes in the following format: a short paragraph summarizing the episode's most important topics, followed by a bullet-pointed list of every topic discussed in chronological order. Try to include the hosts' and guests' positions on the topics. That was the prompt. So it tells the AI, pretend you are, and do it in that voice. And I think it actually...
That's a way to do it. Yeah.
It did. Okay, so it did get one thing wrong because we talked about the Vision Pro headset. And it said... I think because the training data from Anthropic was before the Vision Pro was announced, because it said developer leaks top secret M2 MacBook Pro details. It was not. It was the Vision Pro. But did this major NDA break really reveal anything juicy? Leo Laporte is skeptical. By the way, I was.
He was.
I don't. And the other thing, Anthony was puzzled by. He said, "I don't know how it knew that was you." We did not annotate it. It just says speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4. So it inferred, somehow inferred. I mean, obviously that information was in there somewhere.
Somebody addressed you as Leo.
Here's how it wrote the discussion about Disney and Apple. Apple acquires the Mouse House? ? The prospects of buying Disney debated, with Jason Snell laying out cases for and against, and Leo doubting Apple's interest. That's good.
Yeah.
So your entire staff
and the Mouse House phrase
not having to write show notes.
No, it's not.
No, with
the whole point of it is using these tools.
Humans are still going to have
to help us
I know.
get a baseline to start.
But it's drudgery, right? It's drudgery to have to go through it all.
Well, these shows go on and on and on. No one should have to listen to them.
Wait, hold up now. Hold up, sir.
You got to pay them.
We do need to have these downloads every week. Please and thank you.
Well, you shouldn't have to pay attention. If you are forced to listen to them, you shouldn't have to pay attention. Alex Lindsay plays with trippy ambisonic microphones for surround sound experiments, but can it enhance their show audio? Those are good.
That's good.
Okay, so the real test is, can it make any sense of this show?
Well, we'll find out, because I think we're not going to roll. We're not going to do it all at onst, but I think we're going to. I was at first I said, I don't want to use these. These are too anodyne. They're just boring and bad. And I completely was wrong. It was just a question of getting the right prompt, I guess.
I wonder if you also gave it the rundown. And it knew where sources came from and things like that.
No.
Except for you don't mention some of the things in the rundown.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Anthony,
issue.
did we give it the rundown? I think it came totally from the transcript.
Yeah, I'm saying you could also give it the rundown.
Oh, you could give it the rundown. Well, I don't want to confuse it. It's just a machine.
But it has to be said. It has to be said that a year ago today, nobody was thinking or talking about any of this stuff. Right? It is so early in the life of these
Mike,
tools.
You haven't been around, but I have been extremely skeptical. I've been saying it's a parlor trick. It's BS. We're going to tire of it, just as we did of Bitcoin and VR and mixed reality and on and on and on. And it's
couldn't say that.
You did not say that.
After I saw what was happening with Photoshop and Lightroom and Premiere Pro and everything Adobe Sensei AI was doing, I was like, yeah, there's a place for AI in the creator space, whether it's a podcaster or whatever content creator. Just use those tools to help get things started and get things cleaned up and the repeatable stuff done faster, so you can continue to create content. I mean, doing show notes takes time,
In fact, Leo, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that one of my picks of the week is a tool that I think you are going to use every time you do a podcast from now on.
Challenge
That's my
accepted.
Prediction.
Wow.
And I think you're going to really get a lot of value out of it. But we'll get there.
I look forward to
picks
it.
of the week part.
Nice tease. See, a machine.
Such a daggum pro. He's such a
machine wouldn't do that.
No, wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that. So, a few unpopular opinions about AI, Jeff. Summarize for us.
I'm not going to remember them. Jesus.
Okay, below,
What I
he
actually
says,
said?
well, I got it in front of me. I will share.
Yeah, no,
He says, my unlikely unpopular opinions, he says, about large language models, he says. How they should not be used in search or news, how building effective guardrails is improbable.
Which
And
came
here's
out of
how we
last
know
week's
that Jeff
tweet.
wrote it, how we already have enough content in the world. I
Sorry,
hope they
editor.
bloop that.
Right. So I say that it shouldn't be associated with search. It shouldn't be used to write news articles. I think writing show notes is something very different. And the last thing the world needs is more content. We already have enough damned content. Right. We have to tell the machine to STFU.
Well, in this case, this is exact opposite. This is taking...
This is the opposite, yes.
An existing corpus and synopsizing it, which is very useful.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And we talked about that. That's the Notebook LM that you were talking about, Jeff, that Google's doing.
Yeah, exactly. That augmentative help is wonderful. I think there's a huge potential there, which I say in this piece.
Yeah.
So actually, Jeff, I'm going to push back on two of the things you said. I think that there are tools that are better than search that are based on generative AI. One of which is Find.com. I think I've recommended it on the show before. PHIND.com, which is so good for search because it gives you both the search results and the generative AI result, and it tends to be pretty good. It's for developers, but it works for like us non-developer types. And the other thing about writing is that I'm coming to believe that writing PHIND.com.
Okay.
I'm coming to believe that AI can improve not only your writing but your ability to write.
Okay,
yours,
Mike, I will
Jeff,
agree with you
but
there.
Young people. But I actually have another pick of the week that is like right down, and it's from Google too. So that's
stay tuned. Don't give it away.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We got to give
Mike,
people some
respond
results
to
to
you.
this thing.
I think that A, augmentative things, absolutely. B, things that are my problem is if you take Bing or take Google and you have that blank search box and people expect back something authoritative, either a list of sites
the one
or
true
Wikipedia.
Answer.
And we know that generative AI and large language models on the whole ether of human speech, they don't hallucinate, they don't lie, they have no sense of fact, they have no understanding of anything, and we know that. So to associate them with an automated response to the public, I think is irresponsible. On the content side, I talked to an editor at one company I won't name. Well, we got to use this stuff because we're in a war to get more reviews out there. So we're going to use this stuff to make more meaningless reviews out there. And there's so much of that. I absolutely agree with you about, I've written a piece about this, about how I think these can extend literacy. They can help people write. But also talking with Jason on the AI show, which I've now managed to plug 3 times, which is the whole point of writing this piece, by the way.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yep. Is that I wonder that if LLMs had been released as fiction machines, they said, wow, look at this parlor trick, Leo. It can write a short story. It can write a song. It can write a poem. It can do all of that. I don't think there'd been the fuss about the fear of it, but also there wouldn't have been a business because creativity doesn't pay. So they had to associate it with tasks that it can't do well. And I think that's capitalism, boys and girls.
Mr. Jarvis, let me push back though. Just an example of you said the editor was like, we're up against it. We got to get more of these reviews out. Mm-hmm. What about said photographer that's doing team photos for the local NFL team? Heck, they are the NFL's photographer of choice. They have to go and snap these images of the players, rip the players off that background, stick them onto some other background, all within a matter of a couple hours, and then jump on the plane and go to the next town and do it all over again. And the NFL is giving them a deadline of right now.
That's augmentative. Okay. That's fine. You're using it.
So,
you still took the real picture of the person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're using it to help you do the task like show notes. I'm all for that.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All for that. I think to make it out of whole cloth. I mean, illustrations, I'll push back on you now.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs a photographer when everything on the internet, every blog post, everything now has to have an illustration, which was never true in newspapers, right?
Right.
Very few of the stories.
Now you need a thumbnail.
So now everything has to have something.
Mm-hmm.
So screw it. Use the machine to make illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Then who needs a photographer to go out and shoot stuff? A lot cheaper.
Check this out.
It's true.
So I do massive research on AI technology, and something like, it feels like 20-30% of the articles are churned out by AI by this site called Fagan Wasani. Have you heard about this?
No, sir.
So Fagan Wasani Technologies, FAGENWASANNI.com. All of their art is created with generative AI, and all of their articles. And they don't as far as I know, they don't say that it is. They don't admit that. I've contacted them. They're ghosting me. They don't get back to me. I think they're
because you're trying to talk to a machine, and it would appear.
Oh, exactly. But they churn out huge numbers of articles, and they're terrible articles.
They're awful, right?
Badly
and
written.
we thought that the people who copied about.com and made content farmers were bad. Now it's just gonna overload the world with popcorn peanuts, and so it's gonna fully commodify content, which again goes to the point of why shows like TWiTs are more important, because you know that it comes from fallible human beings like
but
us.
it makes us appreciate well-written.
That's right.
It makes me appreciate well-written articles more than I used to.
Although
Which
you
is
are
going
going
to concentrate on quality.
You are going to flood the zone with non-quality mediocrity, right?
Yes.
So that might have a
Yeah.
bad effect. Although that's kind of what the internet is.
Well, that's kind of
Google can't tell the difference. So I have a lot of Google alerts and things like that, and it's just flooding me with this whatever it is, Fagan Wasani stuff, and Google just sends it to me like it's
real,
like it's legit.
To the Atlantic.
I would love to hear from Matt Cutts on this. I would love to hear how you do, because he stayed ahead of all the spam monsters all those years.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, how would you?
Has he retired?
No, he's
with the
still there. Yeah.
Nope. Okay.
Or no, actually, no. I was thinking of no. I don't know what he's.
You would think Danny Sullivan.
I was thinking of Danny Sullivan. I think Matt is
Danny too,
enjoying life. Danny's still working for Google.
Him.
Yeah.
Let's go ruin his day and have him on the show.
Okay, Jason, make it so. And the AI Jason will now take over. Boy, if we could get an AI booker, now we're talking. I'd have some very happy. Does that look like me? I don't think that looks like me. Does that look like me?
Those biceps are a little bit too big to be yours.
So I took my face. Added that. I don't know why I keep saying I'm a man. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
It knows the real you, Leo. It knows your feminine side.
This is somebody put this link in.
For those of you, I put that up there from Benedict Evans. He had it up there, which is great.
It's called the Human Generator, generated.photos.
So for those of you who are listening, Leo asked it to make something, and it turned him into
Wonder Woman.
Linda Carter, yes.
Yeah, Wonder Woman with my face. So it
is kind of his face, though. It is kind of like it's the fifth illegitimate cousin that he had. Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. It's as Dustin Hoffman said in Tootsie. He said the only hard thing about being a woman was how ugly I was. It doesn't seem to want to make me be me. So
interesting.
Maybe it's because I keep clicking mail and it keeps.
What models is this based off of?
It's a full capacity.
When I saw it originally,
we just broke it.
It didn't make wacky things like this. It
that's the TWiT army.
It made real model kind of people you could believe.
They're very believable.
Leo made it unbelievable.
I don't know. I believe it. I'd like to meet her.
That's incest. I
don't know what it is. It's like, yeah,
you're doing yourself.
It's as Woody Allen said, "What's wrong with masturbation? It's sex with somebody I love." I'm full
Leo's
of
greatest hits.
I'm full of them today, aren't I?
Rim shot.
But
there was a comedian who had a tour called "I'm the One That I Want."
I'm the one that I want.
Same thing.